TYRANNOSAUR. Off the bat, don't be fooled by the title. There's no T-Rex in this poverty-ridden movie from the early 2010s. The movie may be as grounded to reality as anyone could ask for, but it still delivers all the tension and violence that could come with any movie that featured an actual dinosaur. Joseph is an everyday working class man just aimlessly moving from day to day. He doesn't work, he doesn't have any love in his life since his wife passed away, and his closest friend is wearing away on his deathbed. Joseph also suffers from uncontrollable rage, which despite trying to move past, he can't seem to get under control.
I'll suck your dick. Give it here.
Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! What the fuck you laughing at?
No, mate. It's just a private joke.
You ain't said it? You wanna give me a fucking laugh?
Not really.
Right, well, fuck up then!
The first time we see him, he's been thrown out of a bar and immediately takes out his anger on the closest living thing, which just happens to be his pet dog, regretting it immediately. This is the tragic element of Joseph. He badly wants to put an end to his violent outbursts, but the irritating world around him keeps bringing it back to the surface, making Joseph react in his true nature. He's not without kindness though. Kicking his dog is an act of anger, carrying it home is his act of kindness. In one opening scene, you get to see the soul of this complex character, explosive but with a heart, brutal but still human at the core. He feels bad about almost every anger-fueled episode, to the point where he truly hates the person that he's cursed to be and nobody is around to help him overcome it. That's until we meet Hannah, who shows her instinctive kindness to him immediately after he seeks refuge in her charity shop.
Father, God, I'm asking you now to touch this man and to reach into his heart. He's in pain, Lord. I believe you've brought him here to me to help him find his way.
Hearing somebody provide even a verbal plea of hope to him brings him to tears, and despite trying to run from the rare form of treatment, even going as far as criticising her for being so naive about the world, he keeps coming back to her, until he discovers that she's a victim of domestic abuse. Hannah's still strong however, despite being painfully delicate. Though unorthodox, the two develop an unexpected bond with one another that the movie avoids taking into the romantic level of so many other dramas out there. The third party of the mix comes in the name of James, played by Marsan, who plays Hannah's husband. The guy's just a straight up asshole from beginning to end. For the most part, they keep his physical abuse between scenes and we only get to see the aftermath of it visible on Hannah's face, and she covers from him in a convincing manner. You can tell that she's used to this and has mastered her poker face over the years. In scenes where James tries to apologise for hurting her, he still comes across as insincere and playing up to the true kind nature of Hannah, making his abuse as emotional and manipulative as it is physical.
You don't fuck me anymore.
James.
Do I smell like a dead animal?
What?
You fuck like a dead animal.
What do you want me to say to that?
Joseph recognises this behaviour, probably because it's hinted that he was the aggressor of such abuse in the past and wants nothing to do with it anymore. He wants to be so distanced from his violent history that he even refuses to intervene with the abuse, but does agree to shelter Hannah for a while and bring her into his world, where she's openly accepted in a way that Joseph probably wouldn't have been in the suburban world. The movie was the directorial debut of Paddy Considine, who you might know as Richard from the Shane Meadows movie Dead Man's Shoes. It's an uncomfortably bleak tale with themes that may be too upsetting for some viewers, but it's still also a masterclass in acting and filmmaking. Olivia Colman as Hannah is definitely the standout here. She's exceedingly convincing in the role of Hannah, and the whole time you're watching you just want to reach into the screen and give her a big hug. TYRANNOSAUR feels more like a chapter of a bigger story rather than the full thing. Each character clearly has a long past, just as bleak as the story that the movie provides, and ends on a note that shows that there's still a life beyond the 90 minutes that we get to see, but that isn't the concern of the filmmakers to tell. We're only dropping in on a sad reality that happens within every city around the world. It's a shame that the movie didn't get the recognition that it deserved upon release. Maybe it was too depressing for the average Friday night moviegoer, but if you're like me and you're a fan of the most miserable stories that the big screen has to offer, it comes with a late night review stamp of approval.